I'd like to report a missing person, Jared Thomas.
Oh, what a way to start. Filled with intrigue. We're immediately jumping into a missing persons case.
Yeah. Law and Order.
Dun dun. Yes.
Have you seen Josh Rochelli's talent? Because I haven't.
You waited approximately 45 seconds before baiting every Crows fan in existence.
As you can see, Josh, they're there. And the funny part about it is, Josh, is that they're wide and bright and happy. How do you feel about that? Oh, look, I've even lit up my face now just to show you that they're there. One thing you do is when you come at Port fans, we'll take it, we'll whinge and complain, but just make sure you back it up. Because if you can't back it up, you end up getting mentioned on a B grade podcast like this one. It's what it is, I guess. Nah, we're all good, Josh.
Your first
We're
name
all good,
back
mate.
with old mate.
Yeah, we're on first name basis. Tell you what, we're on nickname basis last night. Poor boy.
Oh boy.
Right. Anyway, life's
Just a
good.
little, just a little. Yeah, I mean, life is fantastic, but just a little sprinkling in there for all the Crows fans if they came in and if you're expecting that for the rest of the episode, yeah, get ready for it. Hope you're strap in.
It's just like, why would you call it a final and then go and lose it?
It's the Essendon technique, as they call it.
Nah. Yeah, but Essendon don't know what their final even means.
I mean, that's fair, but
I might just throw strays at every club.
why
Fuck
not?
it.
Line up, everybody.
Gold Coast doesn't have a fucking sun to shine up there either, by the way. Oh, we can win away now, but you can't win at home. What the fuck's wrong with
They've really switched up. I love how it was like they could do everything else, and now it's like, nah, we're done now. I think as soon as their season was over, it was, it was like, all right, fuck it, we'll just do whatever we want anymore.
you? Correct. They don't care. Neither does Dimmer. He'll break his hoodoo at Marvel, win a game away, and then start a new hoodoo at home. These people are stupid.
They're Gold Coast. I mean, we haven't even smashed the glass yet, but I'm going to say this right now before we even do any of that. The Gold Coast Football Club may never play finals.
I reckon they're making wild card round purely for Essendon and Gold Coast just to feel
Give him a
like
sniff.
what it knows, what it is. Like,
Just to give him a sniff. Just the hope of it.
do you want to play in the last week of August just to see if you can venture into September? Going to be a cloudy day while it's sun shining, or is the Bombers going to bomb out again? We'll find out.
Oh, look at you, newspaper headline, man. That was like a Damien Barrett sliding doors business.
Yeah, well, sliding doors on their seasons, eh?
Sliding doors indeed.
Tell what doors do have though, Jared.
What is that?
Glass to smash.
That's the play of the game. That is the play of the game. The impossible angle, and he puts it through. And Portland. Danger, 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 danger. Butler, 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 Butler. Get around him. Get around him. Edge of the seat.
Jared's thrown a punch for episode 57. It is 50. No, it's 58. There you go. I wrote it down. Right, he's thrown a punch right at the glass. It's broken.
Mhm.
And look what he got. Right, got me.
Straight.
Unbelievable.
So that totally wasn't there before. That was totally a fresh injury. But in a completely unrelated thing, it's the perfect segue into a thing that we like to call talking about local football. Um,
Actually,
yes,
just before.
yes.
Welcome, Jared, to episode 58.
Oh, thank you. It's
And
great.
everyone else.
It is great to be here on episode 58, which is another happy days GT episode for the both of us, which I'm absolutely sure we're going to be talking about
Oh, we are.
in
It's
due
it's
course.
capital letters.
Yeah, don't have due
Don't
course
worry.
about
I'm reading
that.
the fucking thing tonight. Don't worry about
However, before we get into that, before we get to the excitement of AFL level us, we get to talk about the excitement of local football us, which is was just as good this weekend. So, Anthony, if you'd like to enlighten the audience on your exploits on the weekend.
Huh. I'll give you the story. I told Jared before, but I'll give you the story. There's like 6 or 7 minutes to go in the last quarter. We are 49 points up. We need to win by 50 points to secure a final spot if the other team we're going head to head against wins. And at that current stage, it's a bit like the EPL last day. They're 2 goals up. So we need to kick a goal essentially to lock it in. I kick a goal. It's my fifth of the day. So
Just quietly,
one,
just
two,
quietly.
three, four, five. That's just quietly.
Yep.
Also, I was in the paper early in the week, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, we go up. Next thing you know, I celebrate like mad. Um, in the end, found out the other team lost anyway by like 4 points. So all we had to do was win, and we secured a final spot. The funny thing is, in my entire time at Sposs, I've always been a backman, and every time I've played a final or been in a final series with this club, my beloved family, I call St. Paul's,
Oh, lovely.
I've always been a backman. Right now, I'm the hottest key forward at this football club. The
If
hottest
you don't say
prospect.
so yourself.
Uh, I speak in third person.
And I
Anthony
mean,
was so good on the weekend.
that was backed up by the newspaper appearance, in which I believe one of the quoted sentences was something along the lines of, is a rock down back and can swing up forward or something along those lines.
I'm an AFL swinger. Like I can do any part you want me to do. I am there. I'm a role player.
Everybody, here's a quote graphic for whoever wants to make it. Anthony is a swinger. Let's put that in bold letters. Let's get swinger extra sized up. Put it in red, maybe. Big.
Don't get an extra size up. I'm more of a smaller kind of guy.
Anthony is a swinger. Let's put that there. Anthony is a swinger. And then no other context. Like, we don't want anything else down the bottom. Just Anthony is a swinger. Big photo of his face like this. And then I reckon, oh, hey, hello. And then I reckon we'll be sweet. You can even include that too, I reckon, the fireworks. And then everything will be good.
Tell you what, wherever I go, I do bring the fireworks. So if you're interested,
If anyone is interested in swinging with Anthony, please give him a call. Because tell you what, he can do it well.
you'd know.
I knew you were going to try and swing that back at me. Way. Fantastic stuff. Really good. Yeah, basically, and kick
It
five.
probably hit from here to Melbourne, to be honest. But anyway,
Basically, and kick five on the weekend, and now Sports is playing finals next week, which is exciting times.
that's the short. Yeah, that's the long story short. Yeah. What about you, my
Well,
boy?
talking
What did you
about
do?
swinging. No, it was a bit very different circumstances. We were playing the second bottom side this week, of which I've previously said of our team this year that we tend to win by a lot. In a lot of the weeks that I've played, we won like 110, 130, 180, and then drew, and then won by like 7 goals last week, and now it went back out to 150 odd this week. And I was playing like a little bit on the wing, a little bit halfback, mostly on the bench, to be honest. And then at like three-quarter time, I went up to my coach and I said, like, look, this is boring as shit. Like, get me in the game. Like, I want to do something else. Like, I want to actually be able to have some sort of impact. I would have had like 4 touches at that point. I was like, let me go anywhere but here. And he was like, all right, we'll throw you up forward. So me and one of the other backmen went forward. 30 seconds into the last quarter, ball comes in. The very same coach that put me there gives me the handball in the pocket, and I'm just set sail, drop punt, and I've watched it, and it swung so far back. I kicked it. As I kicked it, I was like, fuck, that's nowhere close. I was like, yeah, centering ball. And then I was like, that's actually kind of coming back. And it just bounced on the line and went through, and I was like, cool, no worries.
What was the celebration?
Oh, we were up by 140. It was nothing. It was like it was yes. A bit of a high five to the coach on the way through. And then I kicked a set shot later on. So I went from having 4 touches for the game to 2 snags in the last quarter. Felt good about it. But yeah, we won by 150 odd, and then the seniors went out there after us and won by 180. It's 215 to 35. In my game, the our full forward kicked 9. In the seniors game, the full forward kicked 11. So
20 between the
it was a
two.
big day for the two big key forwards of Dingley. But we have one more round of the regular season, and then we're into finals. We have secured top spot, everybody, which is exciting times. So we get a week off, not this week coming up, but the week after we get a week off because it's top 5 finals. And yeah, fun times.
Yeah, I love how you come back from Vegas, just waltz yourself in, you start demanding where you should play. We've done no preseason. Just come in, waltz on through, demand where to play, tell the coach what to do, give him a high five, you catty bitch, on the way back, just to let him know that yeah, you've just demanded this and got your just desserts. So fair play. So the
I,
average
I
winning margin goes up.
I feel a little bit guilty that I have come back from Vegas and waltzed my way into an undefeated top of the ladder.
Oh yeah.
And I sit at the end of the bench every week and I'm like, I feel pretty good about this, to be honest. I feel a little bit guilty though, so I feel like my luck is going to run out sooner rather than later and I'll be finding my way.
Please do not say that.
We'll see how we
You
go.
know what they say. You don't want to put that into the air, man.
No, good vibes. Positive affirmations, as we say.
Yes, we're living on positive affirmations, which is fantastic because it fucking worked on the weekend. Because we
Absolutely.
went from one dove, Sposs and Dingley, tick tick, to prime time, Saturday night. No shitty Fox footy games or anything like that. Two fucking belters.
Yep.
And it was our boys,
Our boys.
Saints and the pair, just showcasing to the world that the underdogs are the ones that get the job done around here.
I was saying, I think I said it either last night or this morning, that it is one, it's extremely rare that all 4 of our teams, as in the 2 that we play for, Port and Saints, play on the same day. That's extremely rare, let alone the fact that the time slots matched up pretty well. Like you played after me, but like that, like afternoon games, and then our times at night matched up, let alone the fact that all 4 of them won. It is unbelievably rare for that to have happened, and then it did. And it was very exciting. Now, I'll be completely like I haven't been able to watch much of the showdown, obviously, because I was at Marvel, but I've seen a few things, and I'm sure you'll be able to fill me in the rest of the gaps. But it was a spectacular night for football for all of us.
Well, I don't want to make this whole episode about us, but I very well could. I think a couple of things from the showdown. I'll give you three, and then we can do three from the Saints. So I think the three things that I learnt from the showdown was one, yeah, and we'll touch on it. We'll leave Dan Houston out of it. I think
For now.
it'll be its own little thing a little bit later. The thing that I learnt was the fact that Jason Horne-Francis is just built for the moment.
He is built for the moment. Absolutely.
He is just built to be. Yeah, he is. He's an extraordinary footballer. The goal he kicked, when you see, if you get the chance, the goal he kicks like in the first minute of the second quarter, out of the stoppage, clear air on the left, 40 out, just slots it. Oh, oh, good
This
God.
This may be an egregious little thing that I'm about to say, much like my Port is 2016 Dogs thing that I said the other week. This might be a little bit egregious, but you saying the Horn Francis is built for the big moments gives me an air of the Dusties, as we say, where there is certain types of players that just when the games are big, Nick Dacos is one of them also. When the games are very big, when it's all on the line, they will do inhuman like things. And I think Horn Francis is entering that little spot. There was glimpses of it in the past. I remember last year, I talk about this all the fucking time, and I will never ever stop talking about it. That pickup in the wet that he did, I will never ever stop thinking about it because it's still to this day arguably the greatest thing I've ever seen on a football field. That like showed me the flashes, and now it's constantly every game that's big. He's very big in them, and it's just building to the point where if Port get deep into a finals, whether it's this year, whether it's in years future, wherever, whatever the case may be, he's very, very young. He could do that little thing where it's like, just get the ball to Jason and get out the fucking way. Like, don't do anything else.
I like probably agree, and I don't want to be biased, but Ken Hinkley has the secret move that he can do with him to put him one out in the goal square.
The Dusty.
Huh. He, I can't. It just,
Yeah, you've got the air, just the air of it. Like that's all I'm saying. Like it doesn't, not saying he's Dustin Martin because people will come for me, but it's the air, you know. It's
yeah.
the aura about him is like
Oh, he has 10,000 points of aura.
put him in the goal square and get the fuck out of the way.
The long socks as well, just in the prison bar Guernsey. Talk about swinging, man. Let me tell you. uh, oh, now I've forgotten my other thought. It was actually really good. Oh, the you say 2016 Dogs. There's a bit of 2017 Tigers about Port as well. Just had a
Yeah,
pretty
seven,
bang
seven.
average first half.
Yep.
Timed it. The one bad loss they had was to the Saints, I'm pretty sure, in
That
2017.
was one that like kicked him into gear. Like that was like
Yeah, and
the one that was like, all right, we need to get our shit together kind of thing. And then they tore it up after.
we had that against Brisbane at the
Yeah.
Adelaide Oval. So it's just flicked ever so slightly,
Yeah.
keep getting the job done. It was probably one of the more important showdowns that Port had won as
Yeah,
well. That was
definitely.
my second reason. The thing I learned is Port Adelaide actually have learnt to win the important games. Okay, I
Mhm.
speak of Carlton away on that Friday night, which is still arguably one of my favourite wins this year.
Understandable. Yep.
Um, then you had obviously Sydney, and we've beaten Melbourne, beat Richmond, the first of the five winning streak, and then the showdown. All the big talk of the showdown, all the yappers from the other side of the swamp come in. They're talking smack. Fair enough. Every year, there's always one team that talks smack in the media, and you got to live up for it and live up to the hype. But to come out of it winning prison bars, Connor Rosie's first showdown win, it's all these little things that are starting to add up for Port at the moment, and they're still not rated by many. And I
I
understand,
think
like,
they're
there's
finally just
a
about
lot of
there.
question marks.
Yeah, I think they're finally just about to the point now where people are like, right, they're the real deal. Like, this is actually happening. They've guaranteed finals now, which again, that's another clapworthy thing. And that is the confirmation is that they are playing finals this year. Even
That
though
graphic made me so hard, man. Like, seriously.
that's the confirmation of it anyway. So that's always exciting too. So another September for Port. I okay.
Hmm.
As much as BT gives some interesting opinions, and people may not like him on Channel 7, and that's to each their own, whatever. There is a thing that he says relatively a lot. Like he says it quite a fair bit, and he says it a lot about Port Adelaide. He says a lot about the Dogs too. Not even the teams. He says it a lot about Ken Hinkley and Luke Beveridge, right? In and this is he compares it a lot to American sport, and it's one thing I actually am like. You raise a very good point here, BT. In American sports, if you are a coach that spans a career that's 10 at one team, like 10 years at one team kind of thing, and you have an above 0.50 winning percentage, like if you win more games than you lose, you are considered a very successful coach. Like people will be like, you have done insanely well for our team kind of thing. Ken Hinkley and Luke Beveridge are that. They have both in the 10 years that they've been there, obviously Beveridge just had the flag kind of thing. Ken didn't quite get there. He's had all the prelim finals, all the finals, everything like that. He cops a lot of shit, right? But again, once again, Port have proven that they can hang it with the big guys and they will, they have set themselves up for a top four finish. They've set themselves up for another good year. Like it gets to a point where you kind of have to look back and be like, maybe Ken has been onto something this entire time. And he was just kind of waiting for the right cattle to come through. And now we just spoke about him, and I will continue to speak about him. But Horn Francis is coming into this player that he is. We know what Rosie, we know what Butters can do. Obviously, Butters want to show down medal, but like all these players going through now, where it's like, right, maybe Ken's got the team that he's finally been looking for, kind of thing. Obviously, like you said, there's still question marks because every team has one, but it's it's finally starting to picture, and you can kind of see what Ken has been pushing this entire time of like, I have the team, like I can do this. I just got to get them there, kind of thing.
100% agree. And if there's one quarter I think that actually specifies Port and what they're building is the last quarter. I looked at the Fox Footy pressure gauge that showed
My
up on there.
favorite stat that means nothing in the world.
250.
Which 250 watt, by the way. Like Fox Footy, what does that even mean?
Don't know, but it was off the charts. Like it was, I looked at it. I watched the last quarter back today and I looked at it and it was like off the charts. The Crows are like at 190, which is pretty good. but for Port to be 250 off the chart. So if there's a quarter you watch, it's the last one.
Yeah.
Um, just the one final thing that I learnt is Ollie Wines is a sassy bitch.
The
There is
smile.
yeah, but like there's other things that led up to this. The smile tops off for
Yeah.
me. Speaking of Fogarty saying, "Oh, the cherry on top for beating Port in a showdown," I didn't. Um, I think what do you do? So the first thing that happened was when Lockie Jones got tunneled by Phil Thorpe.
Mm.
Um, I it didn't get caught on camera, but I'm watching Razor Ray called it, which I've got to get to in a second as well, by the way. Um, he Razor Ray didn't call the tunnel at a blatant free kick.
Yeah.
Didn't get called. And Ollie, as the Crows kicked the goal from it, and as they're walking back to the middle, look at Ollie Wines, his big square head, is just having a tantrum in front of Razor Ray. I've never seen him do that. Like dead set. I was like, what are you doing, Ollie? Like he's losing, like he just got his ice cream stolen. Like it was just going mental.
Full on.
It could have been what is it? What's a free kick called when you abuse the umpire? Like what's
Distance.
the word? Yeah, it could have been dissent. It should have been dissent because he was like throwing his arms out anyway. It was very funny. The second part of it was 30 seconds to go, just before Zach Butters kicks the his goal. Ollie Wines has got the mark on the wing, right close to the boundary line, and all the crowd starts standing up. It's a fucking unreal moment to be a part of. But I didn't realize this. He did this at the time. Just before he kicks it inside 50, he looks to the crowd while the ball is live and active in his hands and just gives him one of these to the crowd. And I'm like, oh my God, Ollie,
That's
what is,
incredible. That
what are
is
you?
so good.
And then obviously finishes the game with just pointing at his teeth and smiling. I'm like, you're a go, girl, go, girl. Like you are, you sassy bitch, you,
That's
Ollie Wines. Didn't know he had in him. He's so professional and shit. But
I
like,
was gonna say he's usually a very like, you know, consummate professional, but at Showdown must just bring out this just different side of him. And that's awesome though. That's so good.
Port, Port held receipts.
They
There's a lot of receipts in that
got
one.
the win.
But happy days, and yeah, hope you
Very-
enjoyed that one, Grom fans.
They've probably turned off by now.
Uh,
I think by you saying whatever it was that folks said, I think they were like, you know what, I'm good.
yeah, they're on their way to Bali. They're going on a September holiday. September holiday. We're probably going on another straight sets exit. But that's okay.
Doesn't
2 extra
matter.
weeks of port is beautiful. 2 extra weeks of boat. Anyway,
Exactly.
uh, what about you? Your night.
So our situation is obviously very different to Port's in that our our whole thing right now, and Ross said it a couple of weeks ago, is that we love to be able to be the Grinch right now. And the thing that I really respect about St Kilda right now is that we could very well just be like, fuck it, who cares? We'll go out there. We'll let them, let them do whatever, get the draft picks. It's fine. But I love that Ross Lyon in particular, but St Kilda as a whole, their hatred for Geelong knows no bounds. It is the thing that will push through no matter what. So even if the opportunity comes where it's like, we'll just lose to Geelong, let them get a top four spot, but we'll get a better draft pick, we say,
Mm.
fuck that noise. I'm going to kill them. And so we were down like 6 goals at halftime. Admittedly, I was like, we're in trouble, probably. Um, but then all of a sudden it was special time. It was 7 goals in the third, 6 goals in the last, and a good old fuck you to Geelong, which is
Cat.
always my favorite team to do it to. I like just because it's I'm a Saints fan. I have to hate Geelong. It's in my blood, but it's like it was just very funny. And like I like have like specific moments from the game that like being in this position is really funny. But obviously we did the Sydney, Essendon, and now Geelong in just really fucking up the top eight a little bit, which is really fun. But the things that in the games that like happen the most that just like it's just little things that like my brain remembers better than other things. In the last quarter, Hugo Garcia comes on. He only played 19 minutes, our sub, right? In 19 minutes, he had 6 touches, he had 4 score involvements. He was a fucking freak. However, right in front of me on the wing, Max Holmes is streaming down the wing, like like thinks no one's near him, like doing a bit of this one, come on, running. Hugo Garcia just fucking sneaks up behind him and runs him down. And then as he runs him down, he goes to get the ball and just walks past and gives Max Holmes the dirtiest look on the ground. And I was like, Hugo, you're the best. I love everything about that. And it was just like we were already up 4 goals at the time. Game was over. We were like, it's party time. Like it's actual party time. And then just everything about it. I love that Saints fans got to the game. We could have very well just been like, nah, no one's going to get there. But the crowd was really good. Everyone was into it, like severely into it. Everyone stayed for the end. Obviously, it was, last home game. Well, we're playing Marvel next week anyway, but last like home game for the year. And it's just fun. Like I tweeted this out. I don't know what Ross Lyon said to the boys at halftime, but I'm imagining it was something like his Uber Eats ad, where he just was just fucking throwing clipboards and just absolutely giving it to whoever was in front of him because we came out like it was like we swapped teams at halftime and we just said, fuck you guys, we're gonna kick 13 in the last half and dominate.
Oh, I couldn't believe it. I, I was sitting there at the showdown and like kept refreshing because it was important to Port because
The Cats, yeah,
if
great.
we lost and the cats like won or whatever the case may be, it was a completely different story for us. But like now having that breathing space and there's a decent percentage between the two, it's a very, very good chance. Like it just helps us play a home final without even winning next week,
Yeah.
which is incredible. So for the Saints to get that done, and obviously I was more happy for you than anything, but like,
But it was also good to assist in the
oh, it was an old tap in. Like that was the old import.
have your
It,
top two finish. Go
it was
on.
almost like us two playing at the same time was meant to be.
I know, literally. And now, right, what it's done, I mean, not that game in particular, but we said it the last week or the week before, and you said it perfectly. There needs to be an EPL style final day where everyone plays at the same time. Next week is set up genuinely perfect for that because we play Carlton and Freo play you guys. And it's 3:20 and it's the 4:40 or whatever the case may be. They should be at the same time because between Carlton and Freo, it's basically if one team wins, the other team loses, that team that wins is going in kind of thing. And it's like now is the perfect opportunity for it to happen. And like you saw it on Saturday night, it was like Port were looking at both games at the same time, kind of thing. This would have been the perfect opportunity for that.
Yeah.
But it never happens, and it's just sad. So it's very, very funny though. But yeah, the Saints. I don't know. It's really funny, and like I said it, I literally said it 5 weeks ago. I was like, we're going to be very like dangerous in the last month for every team that plays us because we can win. Like we win a lot of games of football. And now, in retrospect of everything, I'm now sitting here like, fuck, we should be playing finals. Like we are definitely a finals team, but we've lost like 6 games by under a goal, and it's like that sucks. Like that's shit. We had a shit start to the year, and it completely crushed us. But we should be playing finals. Like that's so sad.
You are 3 games out of the 8. So yeah, and you win 3 of those games that you lost by under a goal, and you're definitely talking in contention, which sucks because obviously I don't think the fall from grace from last year is all that bad
No, it's
considering.
not that bad. No.
But at the same time, there's nothing better than putting late season form, and then we start to like, oh, we should be playing finals, and then you have the wave of, oh yeah, we just better top 8 side, and pretty much
Yeah.
we're ruining all these sides' momentum going into the last part of the year, and it's like if you just copy and paste that and put that about 8 to 10 weeks ago,
Would be so good. It would have been so good.
maybe your own September could be written instead of
Yeah.
ruining others.
But
Um,
like the only
but
good thing I'm taking out of it is like it's been a trend over the last how many years that teams that finish seasons well but don't make finals tend to play really well the years after. Like it's been a trend that's happened a little bit. Hawthorn did that.
ha,
I was just saying, like Hawthorn did that last year. They ended the year relatively okay, ended up playing finals. Giants, I think, did it the year before. Teams have this knack of doing it, and they also get a decent draft pick, and it kind of gives them this momentum that comes through. So I'm already starting the Flag Saints 2025 train right now in that we are just going to just hopefully time our run very, very well. Hopefully all goes well and we are back in the 8 where Ross belongs. But you know what? It's been a fun year. It's been a fun month. I've enjoyed it. So footy's okay right now.
Nothing better than timing your run 18 months prior, eh?
Hey, it's just it's been a long game. Ross is known for his slow build-up style of play. Not even on the football field, just in his career, just
I
playing
think
18 months in advance.
I think the Saints are known for that. They're building this up for the last 80 years or whatever their drought is. So
And it's coming. Slow build-up play. Don't even worry about that.
can't wait for the centenary anniversary premiership. It's going to be
Well,
thrilling.
those premiership reunions get more dire and dire every single time
Does
because
the Premiership Cup just go to the morgue at this point?
I tell you what is cool though, going into Moorabbin because there is only one cup, so it gets a real big display. Like it gets a real they really make a big show and dance about it. Where like Carlton, it's like, oh, you got 16, just gonna put them all on pedestals. No, 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 you get one and it's in a big glass case and there's a whole thing around it. It's awesome. It's great.
What was the Premiership Cups like back then?
Actually the same, funnily enough.
I don't know. I guess we wouldn't know, would we? I'll give you this scenario,
Yeah,
Jared. We should talk about other teams other than ourselves
yeah, probably.
because we keep ruining everyone else's seasons and we keep backing up ours.
Okay.
Also, you just mentioned in there as well that teams that end the season really well and end up playing finals the year after because of their momentum. Christ, did it.
No, that's true. That is true. That is true. Just another jab at the Crows. Oh yeah.
I'm so sorry in advance. While you were speaking as well, I came up with the title of the episode.
Right.
Dan Houston and the Crows are going on a September holiday.
And here's the Dan Houston news, which so I haven't seen much from the showdown. However, I've seen that. And oh boy,
I feel a bit like Rankin at the moment. That's how well we're going.
been hit by a Houston-sized hangover.
Look, in all, yeah, in all seriousness, like you don't want to see it in footy like anymore. I think we're all adjusted to it now, and it sucks because he was, he's a star of the game. Um, and I like as much as I personally enjoyed not the outcome because it sucks, the moment because it's sort of what showdowns are sort of built into. It's
Makes
those
them
big
fly down.
hits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So for that to occur, like everyone in the moment, I think, it was kind of good. He got the game went to another level to what it already was, but you know, he
Probably
can't
shouldn't do
protect
it, eh?
himself.
Probably shouldn't do it,
It's
eh?
so out of character for Dan Houston. I think you can know it's out of character because the way he was acting afterwards was just like you almost felt sorry for him.
Yeah.
Just like a bit odd. And then obviously you got the rumors surrounding the fact that he's probably we might leave Port. So yeah, it's a bit crazy. But the incident itself, yeah, it's not. He's done for a while.
Probably cooked. It's probably him done for the foreseeable future. Um, yeah, I mean, I think the thing that's going to get him right is like I've seen a few things about from Port fans being like, oh, but he didn't hit him all that high. Like it was mainly chest, and like he's kind of because he hit him in the chest, Rankin's head then went forward to then hit his shoulder kind of deal, which is like well, it's still head high contact, I suppose, so it's still not good. The thing that's going to get Dan, I think, is that he had another option and he didn't have to turn his body. He actively was like, I'm going to turn out of this and just fucking clean him up. Like he could have wrapped him up in a tackle or whatever, but he's turned and smashed him. And sorry, Dan, but I don't think you're going to need some serious lawyer work to get out of this one. I think you're looking at a fair break, unfortunately. But hey, footy. It's one of those things. It's a very bizarre thing, and yeah, I don't know. That's again, this is the one thing I really saw from the showdown properly this week, and I was like, oh fuck. So showdown be showdowning, and Port and Adelaide will always find a way to get into a biff during a game, and that's just the thing that caused it. So good on
From from that point for the rest of the game, obviously it changed because the Crows ended up just focusing on Port players instead of the
them.
ball.
Killing Dan. Yeah.
The whole Biff thing was just like it was a photo I saw today, and it was just at one point Dixon has like one bloke here and then one bloke here, and I swear at one stage his leg was holding another bloke down or some shit like that. I was like, it got me thinking. And here's a bit of content.
Mhm.
What if you're in a biff
Yeah.
in footy? What's one player if you saw coming over? You're like, no thanks, I'm leaving. Who's one bloke you're
An
looking at
accent.
and just being like, right, you're coming over to fight? No, I'm done. It's all good. Happy days. Run
My
into me
bad.
whenever you're like, it's fine. I'm good. I want to keep my teeth.
Please and
It's
thanks.
fine.
I mean, Charlie Dixon is probably right near the top of that list, to be fair.
Yeah,
If
that
he came at
bloke's
me, I'd be like, no thanks.
his hands would grab all of my face.
There's a lot of like key defenders, key forwards that'd be like that. If you're Stephen May, I'd be like, nah, I'm good. Don't need you anywhere near me. I reckon you'd probably kill me. But if you're talking like one of the smaller guys, like one of the small angry guys, Jack Viney, he is an angry man, Jack Viney. And if he came over to me, and if I saw him angry and storming at me, I'd be like, actually, I'm good. I lied. I don't actually want you to come here anymore. Please leave me alone.
Yeah, he's right up there.
Jack Viney is a aggressive angry man. Dusty would have been in there as well if I saw Dustin Martin actually angry, because you never see him angry. If I saw him actually angry and running at me, I feel like he would go through me. Like that'd be the end. I would be like, all right, guess I'm done.
Dusty's in the list, like you in the list with Shane Mumford.
Yeah,
Like those
Shane Mumford. Jesus Christ.
most iconic tackle I've ever seen in Canberra against the Cats when he hit Duncan.
Smashed Duncan.
Literally dunked him like he was cooked.
Yeah. What about you? Same sort of vibes, Charlie Dixon vibes?
I'd say Dixon. Charlie Kerner would be another, I think, just
Yeah.
those arms coming
The
at me.
arms. Yeah. The power.
Um, I think every ruckman in the comp, like it, just anyone that's sort of over 200
Oscar
centimeters, like
McInerney.
Kieran Briggs,
Yeah, Oscar McInerney, Kieran Briggs, those kind of guys. I'd be like, nah, go away.
maybe not Bailey Williams, he's a bit of
I was
a
gonna say Tim
lightweight, but
English. He's nothing really. Tim English is
no, he's a feather.
hasn't got much going on. Rowan Marshall, while big in size and stature, he'd just be too happy. Like he'd come over and he'd be angry, but he'd be with a big smile on his face. Like
He'd
I
kill
can't,
me with his smile.
yeah, I can't take you seriously.
He'd
I
be
think
happy.
that's what it get me though. I think.
No, yes, because he would be a psycho. He would
Yeah,
be beating the living shit out of
yeah.
you, smiling.
I'd be like, oh, you're not gonna hurt me, and then he'd come over and just hang out. I'd be like, okay,
I wouldn't be able to say okay. I'd just be like,
no, it's over.
maybe Riley O'Brien too. I think he'd fall over his own feet before he got to you.
He's got the size for it, but yeah, I feel like he'd like try and hit me and then hit one of his own players. When you were talking about the Charlie Dixon thing where he's like holding blokes, he's got one of the, it made me think of the Terry Crews from Brooklyn Nine-Nine where he's got like guys in the headlock and then one in the leg. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's so. Last week or a couple of weeks ago, we compared Charlie Dixon to Braun Strowman. This week, it's Charlie Dixon and Terry Crews. Terry loves fighting. Very good. So, what I've learned from that whole question is that we're pretty much scared of the majority of the AFL.
yeah. I mean, anyone that would come up to me, I'd pretty much be like, nope, not happening.
This is why we have a podcast. We don't play in the AFL.
And why we don't play it. Exactly right.
Can't catch us on Zoom, can you?
You're not coming down to bloody Dingley
You
or
need the passcode.
go against us. You're not coming
Actually,
down
we
to
would
play.
take you as boss.
I mean,
New
yeah,
players.
it'd be great. If I mean, we
Yeah.
could always take another AFList to play, to be honest. But yeah,
Just sign here.
can a Kogi game.
Let me give you this scenario, Jared Thomas, for next week. It's obviously the last round. It's a huge game. I'll give you the ladder. Well, we're so far into the podcast, no point giving you the ladder. But the Giants play the Dogs.
Mhm.
The Blues play the Saints. And obviously the Dockers play the Power.
They're the three main ones. Those ones.
If the Giants lose to the Dogs are secured a top 8 spot, potentially a chance to get top 4 with their percentage if the Cats and the Lions lose. Right? So if Port Adelaide the last game, Port Adelaide Freo, I'm going to leave that out for a second. So if the Blues lose to the Saints and the Giants lose to the Dogs, Port Adelaide don't have to win because the Cats will have to beat West Coast by like a massive amount just to getting close. So the job's already pretty much done for Port. If I'm hoping for this case, right?
Is what's happening. Yeah.
But this is a scenario. So the Giants lose, Dogs win, the Cats win by a certain margin to West Coast, and then the Blues lose to the Saints. All Freo have to do is win.
Mhm.
That's all they have to do to get in. So that's probably the perfect scenario they're hoping for,
Yeah. I
right?
think they just love the Blues to lose. I think that's the number one thing for Freo is if Blues lose, they're in the spot basically.
It's quite amusing though because every single game this weekend, even Collingwood beating Brisbane on the weekend, it's just like very funny to me
Yeah.
because obviously they have a chance. The percentage is awful. They have a chance.
I did the maths before, I think. They need Carlton to lose by about 100. They need Freo to lose just at all, and they need the Hawks to lose by about 100, and Collingwood need to win by about 100, and they'll make it in.
And they play Melbourne.
It's a chance. It's a sniff.
So what you're telling me is they put Carlton Melbourne on the Friday night as a dead rubber.
Collingwood, Melbourne. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, to be fair, when you made it originally, Collingwood, Melbourne on a Friday night in the last round of the year seems pretty good. However, no.
I'm glad I still stand by the fact I hate the fact that we're playing it in
Yeah.
the last game of the year. But I get it, it's a game that's two interstate teams that you wouldn't want to put on a Friday night because you can put all the eyes on the interstate matchup. Um, Similar to last year where we had the Giants beat Carlton by a massive amount. But yeah, the three games that we are main focused on are all on Sunday. So when we said the other week, oh, let's have them all at the same time,
Yeah.
almost got it. It rolls into one another.
Yes, exactly right. It's almost, and like they're also like a little bit overlapping as well. So like the start of the Port Frio game, you know that Port and Frio will be coming in at like quarter time or half time, whatever the case may be, and they'll be like, "What happened in the Blues game? Like who got close?" Kind of thing. Like what happened? Kind of. It's one of those vibes where it'll be a vibe at Optus Stadium where if on the screen it pops up that the Blues have lost or whatever, the crowd will go fucking apeshit. They'll be like, "Oh my god, we're in with a fucking chance." It creates a pretty exciting atmosphere, but again, it just makes our point even more so that it needs to all be at the same time because fuck, that'd be fun.
Well, I agree, but also knowing that now we have the simulations of what potentially can happen, and the outcome is the scenario I mentioned. That's the possibility. If you're Port coming into this one, the Giants have lost. The Cats have beaten West Coast by a certain margin, so you only have to lose by a certain amount. Obviously, you want to win, finish the year on a high.
Yeah.
But if your opponent is looking for a top eight spot, I'm not mentioning throwing a game here, but are you putting in
I think
anywhere
again,
near as
it's
many?
sort of you look at it and you go, who would you rather play in the finals? Would you rather play Carlton, who will probably have their players back and on their day would probably be a better team than Freo, or do you play Freo, who are pretty solid, just a solid team, but not quite like reaching the heights of the Carlton kind of thing? You'd go into it with that kind of mindset where it's like, I don't know, like who knows kind of thing. Carlton last year, it could have been a case of that last year. Like Carlton knew they were going to finish fifth, basically. And so they were like, we'll just take it. And like they didn't have to play all that well in the last game of the year, kind of thing. So it's kind of a similar thing, not throwing the game, but it's like if you need to rest some players, if you want to start a Boak as the sub, if you want to, sub off Butters early to rest
No.
him. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like if you want to sub off one of your decent players early to rest him, it's one of those days where it's like maybe you do that.
If they start Farrell, Boak, Rosie, or Butters as a sub, I'm going to personally hunt them down and have a very, very fierce conversation with them because I do not want to affect my grand final fantasy appearances.
That's fair.
Made two grand finals. Just letting you know.
So I actually I haven't checked my Supercoach score. That's the one thing I didn't do.
Uh, Congratulations, Ant. Well done. Really, really good
I am
stuff. And
proud
we
of you.
make the
I am
final.
very,
Yeah,
very.
fantastic.
I am very.
Anyway, so like we want what finals do you reckon would be a good lineup? So if you look at it now, we look at the ladder as it is. Carlton play Brisbane at the Gabba. The Dogs play the Hawks at the G, obviously, will have to be. Sydney play GWS. Sydney play the Cats, and then Port play the Giants
Yes.
at the Adelaide Oval. But I'm hoping Port win anyway, regardless this week. But I reckon that's the eight. How it looks at the end, I'm not sure. But those are some fierce matchups.
So I think the way I looked at it, I think the way that I had it set out before the weekend, before these results, before the Lions lost, before the Cats lost. Actually, I tipped the Cats to lose anyway in my own thing, so get stuffed along again. Um, but the way I think I had it, I can't remember what my top four looked like, but the bottom four of the top eight looked like Geelong playing the Blues at the G and Dogs Hawks in the other game. Now that you do not have to be stiff to be dead, right? Like, like the Dogs and the Hawks playing each other in an elimination final seems so unfair because they are the two like form teams coming into it. Like they have flown home, and if they end up playing each other in a elimination fashion, that sucks because it's like those two teams could have been the ones that could be the sneaky. I'm gonna go through and dominate and get to a grand final kind of thing. So it kind of sucks that one could eliminate the other. So I'm secretly hoping that doesn't happen. But the other way I looked at it was, yeah, the Cats. If it ends up falling the way, if the Blues win this week, beat us, Cats end up finishing fifth. Um, the Cats playing the Blues at the G in elimination final. That is so like Cats fans will be furious because they're not going to play it at Cardinia, obviously. They're going to play it at the G. And Blues fans will be loving it because Charlie will be back, Harry will be back. They have a basically full strength squad by the time they get to play at their home ground against a team that is not their home game, kind of thing. So that's where it's interesting there. The elimination finals this year are going to be so good. Like so good to watch. And I'm very, very excited to see how it turns out because yeah, I think the eight that's there now, I think is set. I don't think it's gonna change. I don't think the Blues lose. I think they probably find a way to make it in there, and I don't think Freo can do enough. So I think the eight is set.
Wild, man.
Footy, footy, eh?
There's a genuine chance there's a couple of straight sets exits this year.
100%. There is more than a genuine chance. There is like we've been saying it for a few weeks. This could be the year where a team comes from seventh or eighth and gets to a granny and does the 2016 Dogs and flies home kind of thing. This is if there's ever going to be a year to do it, this is the year.
If it's not Port, I want the Hawks.
The Hawks would be great. I mean, like obviously we've spoken a lot about our own teams on this on this thing today, but the Hawks again today, they did the classic stiff arm business, which is get out to a significant lead and then just hold them away for the rest of the game. Because, why not? If you're going to kick 9 goals in the first quarter, you may as well just take the foot off the gas after that. Just coast.
Well, they play North next week as well, so it's like
Perfect way to get in. Perfect way to just ease their way
rest players. Do the Ross line at Marvel.
Yeah.
Rest 15 players.
Rest 15 when he was at Freo and lose to the Saints by 12 goals.
And the Swans could possibly do that.
Yeah, maybe. I reckon they kind of did it this week, sort of thing, in like the whole Warner thing as well. Like they kind of, I reckon, have sort of put themselves into a let's cruise a little bit. Let's just start easing our way through. Obviously, they did enough to win on Friday anyway against a pretty deplorable Essendon team, which continuously week by week makes me laugh even harder. But yeah, I think they're going to do sort of similar. They've got what they need to locked up, kind of thing. It'll be interesting to see what teams kind of take their foot off the gas. I think most teams will be playing pretty well anyway. Saints will go pretty hard. If not, like we had a couple injuries this week. So like Brad Hill and Anthony Caminiti, they might give a rest. So they might put a couple debutants in only to cover the injuries. Like we won't. I don't think they'll rest a Marshall or a Steele or a Sinclair. I think they'll just be like, just play. Like
Better not.
yeah. I think they'll just be like, whatever, just do it and just see how you go. But like they'll maybe give a couple of debutants, but I think that's what it's going to be is teams will replace the slightly injured guys. I tell you what's going to be a lot this week. There's going to be a lot of news this week about players going out for surgery. I can tell you that now. Watch out in the news because from tomorrow at about 8 a.m. all the way through till Thursday at midday, we are going to hear of about 15 players all going out for season-ending surgeries because no one is like, if you don't need to play and they're a slight bit injured and they need surgery, they will be going to do it. I can tell you that.
Clayton Oliver's taking up all the time slots.
Clayton Oliver's done. He's decided I'm out for the year.
Like, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Between that and there's three things we'll hear this week. It'll be player surgeries. How much does Dan Houston get?
Yeah.
And we'll be talking trades,
Yeah. Exactly.
which leads me perfectly into,
Great segue. That is fucking.
yeah, I don't know, might be hungover and severely sore from all the talent that I have, but I can segue, don't you worry. I can swing and seg, you know what I mean? Just don't put in. No, I'm not going to say it. Never mind. A couple of things. The trades is a funny thing because it's all of a sudden, as soon as Neil Bullen has said, I want to go home for family reasons, and apparently it's pretty serious. So I completely respect that. If you know you have to go home, announcing it is fine. And I think the D's fans actually appreciated that a lot more, which
Yeah,
is great.
they give him a lot of love on social media, which is good.
And you're a premiership player too. So Alex Neil Bullen going home, it's kind of like, all right, you've given your all. You have to go home for reasons that are not important to anyone else but himself and his family. So completely understood. Well done, Alex Nibbleham, for doing that. Which then, for some reason, all the journos in the world and everything else are like, well, let's just roll out the list and who can we list off?
Here's who else is going. Yeah, exactly.
Thrown in Dan Houston, and then obviously Clayton Oliver goes in for surgery. Oh, he must be signing a contract for another team while I start with the knife as well.
Yeah.
I heard, I think, what's the Collingwood player's name? Joe Richards, I think his name is.
Yeah, I heard about that too. What a random
Oh,
one.
he's Port Adelaide bound. And I'm
That's a
like,
really
who the
random
hell
one.
is Joe Richards?
That one's fucking bizarre to me too, but yeah, absolutely.
Who else is
Viney,
under the
Parker.
skirt? Oh, Viney.
Those two, right? The Viney and Parker ones. Those are two players where you cannot even fucking picture them in a different jumper. And what it's going to be is, like when you think back to players that then ended up playing in a different team, you're like, oh, that's gross. Drew Petrie in a West Coast jumper, Sam Mitchell in a West Coast jumper. Like these ones where it's like played their last year.
I'll give you
Hmm?
Liam Shields from the Hawks to North.
Yeah, Liam Shields in the North one. What else is there? There's just random little ones, just like around and about. That's
Dean Brogan to GWS.
Good pull.
Chad Corns to GWS.
Gold Coast Suns. Like those ones. Like real bizarre endings to their careers. That's what if Luke Parker or Viney leave, that's what that's going to look like because they'll play 1 year in a weird jumper and then be done.
Christian Petrarca also just like.
Yeah, also he could be leaving. That could be an interesting one. I think that might happen.
Some say the actual turmoil that's at the D's at the moment is the fact that no one likes his cooking.
They're all trying to leave because he keeps trying to cook up fucking spag bol.
Why do you underdo the steak? Track, why?
Christian has sent all of the team.
Stop giving me wonton noodles and just give me some fucking normal noodles.
He sent all the team cooks home and he's like, I can handle it, boys, and they all fucking hate it. And he's like, I can't do this anymore. Get out of here, Christian.
The best part about it is he says he's so committed to the cause and on AFL 360 he loves it. And fucking next week we see him cooking in Noosa.
He doesn't give a shit about the AFL right now. He's clocked out. He's like, I'm good.
I've got no spleen and ready, steady, cook.
I bet he doesn't even know they won on the weekend. I bet he's like, how we going, boys? And they're like, yeah, win.
Yeah, 55-point win. By the way, made this delicious fettuccine pasta. I had a good win on the Sun. Alex Neil Bullen is leaving. By the way, I made him a farewell gift. It's my beautiful minestrone soup.
Congratulations, Max Gorn, on a 2-year contract extension. Here's my penne alla vodka that I created. Like fucking hell, Christian. Like, give him a smell, mate. There's gonna be some good ones. I'm so excited for the obligatory Lockie Neal's going back to Perth. I'm really excited for that one because I know that's coming. Yeah, it's just gonna be great. Like, so
I
good.
can't wait for someone to come out and say Ollie Wines should go home.
Yeah, that's always one every year as well. There's all those the specific players that are just every time. Dylan Shieldson Kilda again. That's every fucking year as well. That's happening already. I've seen that. Very funny. Like so good.
Oh, it's fantastic. And then the hypotheticals get thrown up, and it's like, oh, maybe he should go there, and or he should come back here, and then everyone just starts running with the rumor, and then clubs have to. Oh, I feel so sorry for the social media people at
Oh
this time of the
man,
year. The
something
amount of statements they'll have to
so many
announce.
media releases.
Oh my God! Like, did you hear? Right, and I couldn't believe this when I heard it that um, Tim Kelly from the Eagles wants to go back to Geelong.
As if he hasn't wasted away the
No,
last
no, we're in the rumor mill now, baby.
no, last 9 years of his career. Oh man. I mean,
Regrets every decision. Can't wait for that statement.
I tell you what, I can't wait for. Here's a little rumor mill of the week for me. Everyone thinks the Pies are done. They think the dynasty's over, but just before you know it, Zach Merritt's heading to the Pies, and he's saying "fuck you all." There's a little rumor mill for you. Zach Merritt's deciding Essendon are a fucking sinking ship, and I'm getting out of here. And he could finish in the top three in the Brownlow this year, and he's going to go and get paid like Collingwood, paid heavily.
So is Jake Stringer. He's gone back to the Dogs.
He's like,
Wants to
"Fuck
relive
this."
the 2016 vibes again. Mrs. Luke Beveridge.
I was going to say, I reckon Bevo misses him. That checks out.
I don't have a package anymore. All
Oh,
I've got is
I was
one beautiful, big, stunning Sam Darcy.
I was about to say, I don't think they fucking need a package when Sam Darcy's kicking seven.
He's the full package, man.
He's good. He's good at football.
Better
Oh,
than his dad.
it's a big goal.
Nah, I reckon he'll be better than his dad.
You're gonna be better than his dad. Let's clip
Probably
this.
won't win a premiership, but I reckon he'll
Let's
win.
clip this for
He'll.
6 years' time because it's gonna be a long way down the track that we'll even know roughly.
Do you reckon we'll still be going in 6 years?
In 6 years' time, we'll still be trying to think of stupid, sexy AFL players. But what I will be remembering is that Sam Darcy kicked seven that time, and you said he was going to be better than his dad.
He'll be better than his dad.
Ah,
Should he should win the Rising Star? I don't care. He got suspended. Like
yeah,
reward the kids.
reward him. Yeah, I
He's
know.
been better than
He
Harley
Debs has
Reid.
been fine. Yeah, but like, yeah, he's been better than Reid. And Reid's obviously not can't win it anyway. But if it was if it was eligible for everybody, this would have been one of those years where you know what it would have been if you could get suspended and still win it kind of thing. This would be the year where it'd be down to Harley Reid and Sam Darcy. Harley Reid would end up winning it, and everyone would throw a fucking fit. That's exactly what it would be, and I could see it happening because I like it's just they'd be like he's just getting it for the name kind of thing, even though Sam Darcy is the son of a Hall of Famer, but that's fine. I just like it's just one of those things where they would give it to Harley Reid based on name alone, and then everyone would fucking throw a fit.
Probably.
He should win it, is all I'm saying.
Apparently Perth hate him. Sick of him. Kind of like Roman Reigns. Everyone hated him under Vince McMahon. Then comes back as the tribal chief and was like, all right, I'll acknowledge you now.
Harley Reid like retires for a year and then signs with Freo, and then it's just like everyone's
Does
like,
it Ben
yeah,
Cousins?
"You're my man." Everyone's like, "You're my guy now."
Nah, not even. Just goes like Richmond.
Yeah, fair. It just goes to like anywhere Collingwood. Fuck.
Like Stewie Jew when he retired from Port, went over to Vegas for a year, followed the love of his life and came back and went to Hawthorn overweight and won a flag.
It's the fucking greatest
One of the
story.
greatest footy stories in
The
history.
greatest footy journey in the world.
It's this time of the year I start to roll out the 5 minutes of Stuart Jew.
It's finals time. It's when you start thinking about the great finals performances, and you're like, "Fuck, I gotta roll out."
Stewie Jew, 5 minutes, is the best 5 minutes of football you ever watch.
If
I
you
will take that to the
haven't
grave.
seen it already, go and give it a watch. It's
If you haven't seen it already, you don't have YouTube downloaded.
yeah,
Like,
that or you have never listened to this podcast before because I reckon we've spoken about it more than we've spoken about any other moment. Actually, no, that's a lie. Rider to Grey is definitely the number one. After that, it's probably Stewie Dew's 5 minutes in the first name.
what was the Rider to Grey one?
Yeah. No, yeah.
Which one are you talking about?
You're not gonna get me to say it. I'm not forcing myself to relive that again.
Right into grey. It's funny, eh? You're one of two teams that have been screwed over in the space of a minute by Port Adelaide. You and Hawthorn. It's four blokes to sit in that period of time. It's Aaron Young, Robbie Gray, Willie Rioli, and Darcy Burn Jones. What a quartet.
Those four guys I would have a beer with. Let me tell you.
I probably would not. Not gonna lie. Maybe Robbie. Everyone else.
Robbie, definitely. The other one's questionable. Absolutely.
I have no further comment on that conversation. We obviously did around the glass table. Speaking of the trade stuff,
Yes.
uh, but no one answered, so we're not going to do it. So I'm just going to skip straight past it. Just quickly before we get into a couple of things before we finish up, we got this thing coming out called the class table.
Yes. We
It's
absolutely.
not new content. We're not recording anything because, good God, if we did that, Jared would probably charge me. So yes, he has so much fees at the moment. Like he's like, are we actually getting paid for this? I have to continually come on here and where's my appearance fee? And blokes, has a winning margin of 150. So talented and asking me for money. Anyway, so yeah, we have this class table thing. You belong on the class table.
No, that's you. It was also for your appearance, for one. Secondly, for the coming up with the name of the class table. When you told me, you were very, very proud of it, and it was very, very good. So,
I was having a shit day that day, and I was just thinking about it, and I reckon I was at work, and I've just stopped what I did, and I was like,
I've
I
got
have come up
it.
with the greatest thing in the world. The class table is essentially like All Australian team, but we're picking 8 to 10 people to sit at our table at the end of the year to be like an All Australian. So our 10 best players at the big table, and obviously we're sitting at the head of it because we're leading because we are. So yeah, essentially that's what's happening over the coming weeks. No, that's all I really wanted to announce, really. Um, and yeah,
Get
pretty
excited for
much
us to
it.
talk all Australian stuff, which is another thing. I mean, we talked a lot about all Australian locks. We did that last year as well. This year we've decided, fuck it, we're just going to make our own ones. So, got that, everybody.
Can't wait to see 10 Rowan Marshalls on course.
I don't want to spoil it,
The
but
happiest table.
I don't want to spoil it, but he's certainly a name that's coming across my
If I
list.
saw you and Rowan Marshall on the table, I would genuinely be jealous. Like, imagine the aura on that table is like 10 million.
No.
And you're 9.9 million of
Oh,
that.
I was going to say he was 9.9 million. Fuck. You idiots.
Just gonna get the love out. Do you know who has no aura? Josh Rochelle. Do you know what has all the aura? Stupid, sexy AFL players. Hmm.
Perfect seamless segue once again. Just
Hmm.
nailed it. Fucking
Can't
splendid.
wait for this one. I am rock hard of aura right now. Play the clip.
Stupid, sexy.
AFL players.
58th edition of Stupid Sexy AFL Players. Obviously, if you've gotten this far into how far our journey has become, and you don't know what this segment is, it's where we express our feelings towards AFL players and acknowledging their beautiful personas on and off the field, whether it's looks, plays, moments, whatever it may be. It's stupid sexy to us, just like my voice and
Absolutely.
just like Jared's face.
Disagree,
Aura of 10 million. How about you go first, Mr. Aura?
disagree on the last one, but agree on the first one. Also, your face too. Also, I would love a rendition of Smelly Cat, either on the recording or afterwards. Anyway, before I get into anything
Smelly
else,
cat, smelly cat. What are they feeding you? Smelly cat, smelly cat. It's not your fault.
let's roll
Smelly
the
cat, smelly cat. Jared, you are my one. Smelly cat, smelly cat. I got nothing else. Let's have some fun.
Oh, nailed it. I think we
Bang,
were,
let's
I think
go.
we
What's
played
yours?
Stupid Sexy, the intro song to that from now on.
Ah, stupid, sexy AFL players.
That's good too.
It's like I'm wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Somebody put me down.
Stupid sexy, the segment that we do. Um, the one that I have, you said
Yeah.
it. You said it in the little intro thing. It could be a player. It could be
Josh
uh,
Shelley,
it could be a player. It could be a thing. It could be a moment. Mine
I would
isn't.
cancel the recording.
I know you would, so I'm not going to pick it. It is a moment, and it was from the latest game. It was actually with about 3 minutes to go of the last game of the round. And I picked it as well because I think it's a very good talking point that we definitely have to talk about this time, but it is a talking point that can be mentioned over time at some point. How much do you know about Ashton Moyer?
I've seen the goal. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So here's my thing, right? That goal,
Hmm.
one of the greatest debut goals, one of the greatest first goals in football you will ever see. My stupid sexy moment of the week is the fact that this guy had like 4 touches leading up to this point and was like, you know what I'm gonna do? This ball's just gonna get flicked to me, and I'm just gonna say fuck it and just half volley around my fucking body, kick this fucking snag. And it is two, like in my own memory, the best first goal I've ever seen. And it's a talking point because I don't know how many are going to be better than that. And it is unbelievably stupid sexy.
Brain's not working, so I'm going to have to agree with
Right
you here.
now, absolutely right now, you have to agree with me because I know that none are going to come to mind. But this is what I'm saying. It could be a talking point for a different time because it is. It's a cool little thing. I can't think of any that are much better than that, to be honest.
And they have like 2 missed opportunities before that as well.
Yeah, I think he kicked 0-2 or 0-1 or something like that, and was hadn't had much, and he was a sub, so he didn't get much of the footy, and then was just like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna kick this goal and have the best time."
So what you're saying is forget holding the ball, just kick it out of the air.
Yeah, exactly right. If you're worried about getting tackled holding the football, don't even bother. Just start pinging it out. Don't know if you saw Marbiot Chol do it earlier in the Hawks Tigers game as well. Ball's rolling in front of him. He just did a little. He literally just passed it to like McDonald, where they got the handball back and kicked the goal. So people have just decided now, and I mean this is the state of the AFL at this point. Don't even pick up the footy. Just keep kicking it along the ground and hope for the best.
Now, now this is something. This probably could be a clip. I don't know. We'll see. We'll discuss it later.
Yes.
Before I get into mine, and I know Port Adelaide do it for a fact, but I reckon every single team they just focus on having a session or half a session in the week where they purely focus on their soccering skills.
Yep.
I've seen Port Adelaide do it where they practice like just like little end to end putting cones out and they have like moments where they play soccer. It's like a little mini game. Obviously come to fruition because Darcy Burn Jones kicked the
Yep.
winner against the Hawks. So like I reckon I know for a fact every single club would have like 10 or 15 minutes where they have a little mini game, 5v5 or whatever, and throw them out there and play a bit of soccer.
I like it. I like that. Yeah. Like, you know, it's could be the next adaptation, the next development into the training of football because teams never, like back in the day, never would have been practicing their snaps. Like teams never back in the day. It was when you're doing goal kicking, you were lining up, 30 out, slide angle, or just kicking set shots. Now players will spend 45 minutes to an hour just practicing snaps, just practicing check sides, just practicing all this kind of stuff. The next development, to practice your fucking kicks along the ground. Make them fucking hit targets, you know? Like, get a bit of air on them. Get them so you don't have to pick up the footy. Just like bit of scoops off the ground, straight into the midst of somebody. Perfect. Absolutely, I agree. 100%.
Or just be like me and kick 5 goals, one, don't practice at all. That's an aura of a million.
It's fine. You're just all over. You just can't. If anyone has any like if anyone has any subscriptions to the advertiser, just go and find that article. Just search up Anthony Lesiani, and I'm sure you'll find a lovely little article because the aura was off the charts that day.
Boy, was it just rising like baking bread.
I thought you were going to say like the sun, but that works too.
shining out of my ass after I played yesterday, that's for sure. But
Who is your stupid
speaking
second?
of speaking of aura, I did have one thing down, but it was already mentioned, so I'm not going to do it again. It hasn't been mentioned a lot from the showdown. Obviously, going to do the showdown because it's the main game I watched on the weekend. Everything else has
Yes.
kind of been missed for me, unfortunately. Between the Houston saga and the Josh Rochelle and the teeth, the Port Adelaide winning in general, the one thing that hasn't been mentioned, and we wore it on Saturday night, it's the prison bar Guernsey. It hasn't been mentioned at all.
I
Like,
actually
well,
did
obviously,
that.
no one talked about it, not even throughout the broadcast. It's amazing that there's been so much hype about this Guernsey, and no one actually mentioned it, which it means two things for me. One, people actually don't care, and we can actually wear it.
Yeah.
Two, the acknowledgement of it now being a sort of a thing that's already part of the game now means again we can move on and do it. But just watching players like Jason Horne-Francis or Connor Rosie, Lear looks absolutely phenomenal. Travis Boak, just it's a fucking stupid sexy Guernsey, man.
It's an
And
unbelievable.
seeing it in action and the black shorts and just well done, Port. Like
Yeah.
have the best Guernseys bringing back all the time. It's just
Good jumper. I'm exactly with you. I forgot that they were even doing it until I saw I think it was a photo of Horn French celebrating. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, I forgot they were doing that again. And it is absolutely both of your points are exactly right. One, nobody other than fucking Eddie Maguire is the only person in the entire country that gives a shit about Port Adelaide wearing the prison bar jumpers. Everyone's like, do it, it's fine. We don't care. You can wear it. That is one. So I'm hoping it means more to that. And then yeah, like you said, it has the prison bars to me in my own head are I just already associate them with Port Adelaide anyway. Like it's not like a thing that's such a surprise to me now where I'm like, oh my God, they get to wear it. Because I'm like, I've seen them wear it a lot. It's Port Adelaide, it's what they are. Like they should just be allowed to wear it. Like, it's a fucking prison bar thing. It'd be like if Collingwood cracked it at us because we wore the candy stripe jumper that time. Like, yes, we have more stripes in our jumper than usual. Fucking lock us up. Like it's the same shit. Like just it's fine. Like just let them wear it. They showed on the weekend. They're not going out on the showdown. Like they're not going out being like suck shit Collingwood, you fucking pieces of shit. Like they're not actively trying to fuck with Collingwood. They're just trying to embrace the history kind of thing. Like just annoying.
I mean, I imply maybe a little bit of it is going.
But not the
But
actual
hey,
game stuff though. The actual game stuff is we want to wear it because it's our jumper.
the women are going to be wearing it as well in round one in the showdown too. So can't wait to see that. And at Alberton as well. It's just
Even
like
better. Way better. Yeah,
it's like aura.
so much aura.
Anyway, what's next? Oh, pack v pack.
Packy pack, baby.
Hello, hello. Off to work we go.
Trying to see who they
What do you
picked.
reckon's in here?
Probably some cards, I'd say.
Now I've had it up to fucking here with you. Like every week I have to come in here and carry this show every single time. I sit in the sweatshop afterwards and you give me nothing. And then you just have the audacity to slap me in the face with a comment like that.
Am I wrong,
What's
though?
in what? Yes, you're fucking not wrong. All right, open your cards. Yeah, look, see, I'm opening the pack. What have you got in there?
Dude. All right, let's start with probably the perfect way to begin this one of these things, because it allows you to laugh at them one more time and give you an extra L. Riley O'Brien of the Adelaide Crows.
He got dominated by Jordan Sweet. The bloke, Jordan Sweet, had a bung elbow, got punched in the face. His leg was not working, and he still had like 50 hit outs and absolutely obliterated Riley O'Brien. How sweet it is, eh? Yeah, hold that L, Chief. Speaking of a former teammate of Jordan Sweet, Ali Smith, I swear I get one of these just like all the time.
Constant Bailey Smiths. Yeah.
See you in Geelong next year.
I mean, this guy is. I mean, he's probably the best player in the AFL realistically, but Nick Dacos, just
It's not Zach Butters. But fair. I also will match you with Chad Warner.
yeah, fair enough. I was going to say Swans missed him on the weekend, but they kind of didn't. They ended up dominating anyway. So
Luke Parker. Very good.
yes, another Bailey played his. I think today was his 100th. I think I'm right. Bailey Scott.
Definitely going to go down as a niche footballer in the future.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's going to end up playing like a cool 200 games, and then you'll be like, you forget Bailey Scott was a footballer. Yeah, absolutely. Well, fuck.
Um, Daniel Rioli.
Been playing some good footy recently.
Surprised the Saints got up on the weekend since he broke all their ankles the week before with his dancing.
I'm surprised he didn't slip out of bed because he was that fucking oily that day. We have a young gun of the competition. He was fucked, man. He was fucking.
Like Flipper.
He was an eel. Will Ashcroft.
Ilioli.
Daniele.
That sounds like a pasta.
That's fucking Tracker would cook. Will Ashcroft.
Ilioli Milanese. I'm really proud of that one.
That was really good.
What are you cooking up today, Drac? Oh, Daniel Ilioli, a
Daniele.
pasta. Huh? Bit of pistachio and tomato sauce. Huh? Where are you cooking that up? Oh, in Noosa. Oh, it's me.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just got caught up in the pasta business. Grind Myers.
Good footballer. Wasn't good enough on the weekend though.
Put your stupid card up.
Lucky Schultz won the game on the
I'll
weekend.
tell you what, he gave a couple of these to the Lions fans, eh? Speaking of stupid sexy holding a trophy on the week.
Connor
Connor
Rose.
Rosie.
Absolutely.
Good footballer.
Great at football.
Developing into a great captain too.
Absolutely. Speaking of great captains, we're really Segway is going very, very well. Toby Green.
Now, last week we matched.
Are we matching again?
This week, we're not.
Charlie Cameron.
Boring.
Very boring. But segueing again, another Brisbane player. Lockie Neal. Star power Lockie Neal. Shiny
On the
boy.
way to Freo.
As he is every single year.
Now, this could be cool. Best and fairest,
Ooh.
Zach Merritt.
Zachy boy. Is there a little cheeky? Is it a silver one or a gold one?
Silver.
One in 8 packs. So
Well, considering we've done like 6 or 7
I was
of
going to
these,
say how many of
we're
these?
pretty on,
I was going to say how many of
pretty
these?
on point.
Yeah. Like, what about the Star Powers ones? The Silver Star, 1 in 3. Yikes. Never mind.
It's okay.
It's okay. In terms of now, this player, right? This is actually a talking point because Kane Corns says a lot of things, right? He has never been more right about something in a particular circumstance than his opinions on Sean Darcy, right? Because Freo gave him a 7-year contract and he has played like 4 games this year and he's out every week and he's always a laid out. And every time he's a laid out, Kane Corns always fucking quote tweets it. And I'm like, he's going to hold that over Freo forever. And I'm like, one time he was right. Just fucking giving it to him.
I love when Kane Corns just has something on an agenda and runs with it. It's just
He gets so angry.
very
It's so
funny.
passionate.
It's very funny. I really just am just seeing double here. I don't know if I'm hungover or why I'm hungover, but he's back.
The double appearance of Connor Rosie.
Yeah, hang on. Oh, did you win finals? Oh, I can't even do the high pitched voice.
No high pitch voices this week for Ant. His voice box is too fucked. Oh no.
I've got no range.
You always have range. And my final my final one, speaking
What's
of,
that supposed to mean?
it's a good thing. Speaking of
Right.
Daniele, as we say.
Cook me up, bro. I
Hey man,
work real well with bacon.
hey man, I heard that you're potentially on the way to the Gold Coast. Maybe if you come down, I could cook you some of my favorite.
Let's see if we can get a 2-for-1 deal going. Make my
Oh.
favorite pasta and I don't know. Sam DeConey.
That's it. Just Sam Dakota. There's no jokes to be made about Sam Dakota. Just Sam Dakota.
Yep. Let's pack repack. Let us know what you thought. And yeah, go Connor Rosie, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're really loving the Conor Rosie. What's my thing? I got two pies and two lions.
I win instantly because my pack has Zach Merritt best and first.
You have the more lucrative card, so I will give that to you.
And I have two Connor Rosies, so really I'm just probably beating you by 170 points.
Just a calm 170, just a relaxed
Well,
170.
you wouldn't have known, but I'm actually playing full forward in this game as well. So like,
They clear out everybody.
unbelievable.
Again, everybody, please go to the advertiser and search in Anthony Lesiani. You will find some beautiful things.
Also about me. Yeah. Subscribe, work purposes.
Yes, exactly. And then call up, and instead of complaining to Ant, call up News Corp and just be like, "Hey, I just read the
Can I
article.
buy Ant?
I just read the article. It was pretty cool. I wanted to talk to the guy."
I get calls during the week saying, Ant, do you swing? I'll be like,
All right,
maybe
everybody. In my
newspapers.
mind, instead of making the quote graphic, what I would like everybody to do is please call up the News Corp office, ask for Anthony Lesiani.
No, do not make us busy.
But it's not going to be bad things, and then make it so that whatever KPIs Ant has to hit, you then help him get there. But you have to ask him, "Do you swing?" That's how you have to start the conversation.
Vigorously.